It really just depends on like the sizing, I think, and also location. But all of ours are in St. Louis, Missouri.
Gotcha. Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Dang, the market is that big in St. Louis? I've never been. I've never been to St. Louis.
Yeah, so we have the Cardinals, and then we have the Blues, and
There's like a lot of convention centers and things people come for. Like I was surprised because I don't like St. Louis, and I was like, no one's gonna want to come here. Like who travels here? Who intentionally comes here for things?
Right.
And Bryson's like, you'd be surprised. Like there's more demand than you think, and people really like come into town and travel for the Cardinals games and for the Blues. Like I didn't know that the Cardinals were that big. You know, I always lived there, and the Cardinals were always our team, but I didn't know that there was so much demand for it.
Welcome to Black Wealth Weekly podcast, where you can find different guests being interviewed by me, Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven, every single week, where we will be breaking down how they got into their respective industries and are creating wealth for their families. You don't want to miss an episode, so hit the bell and tune in. What's up, family? I'm Shaniqua Nicole, the Millennial Money Maven. Welcome to this week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly. I have some amazing guests to share with you guys. They are out here killing the game in the Airbnb space. And what I love about them most is that they are super duper young. So, had to share with you guys how they are building wealth. Please, 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 family, introduce yourself to the people.
All right, guys. Hi, my name is Anaya. Bryson.
Yeah. My name is Bryson.
And yeah, we are 20 years old both, and we both do Airbnb.
Gotcha. So how long have you guys been doing Airbnb?
We started Airbnb in May of 2021.
Okay.
A little over a year now.
A little over a year now. What made you hop into the Airbnb space?
So my brother was like, you guys should do Airbnb. And he was like, I don't know much about it, but, I see people doing it, so it can't be that hard.
Yeah.
So
Older brother, younger brother?
Older brother. So I'm the youngest of three.
Okay.
So I'm like the kid. So he was just like, you guys should try it out. And we did.
Yeah. Y'all did. Yeah. And y'all rocking it out.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get a little bit into, who you guys are individually. So Anaya, tell us, I know you said your name, but how old you are, where you from, give us a little bit about your background.
Okay, my name is Anaya. I was born in Burlington, Vermont, but I was raised in St. Louis.
When did y'all meet?
We met in high school through a mutual friend.
Okay, so you're both from Vermont?
No, I was born in Vermont, but I grew up in St. Louis. So he's from St. Louis, and I went to high school there. I grew up there.
So let's just connect the story, right?
Okay.
Let's try to talk a little. We having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? It's not just answer the question type of thing. Like, we having a conversation here. I want to get to know you guys.
Okay.
Cool.
They want to get to know you guys too. So let's talk a little bit.
Okay.
Loosen up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So you guys met in high school in St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about you. You're from St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm from St. Louis. I grew up just all around St. Louis. Like, I'm not from like a certain part. What else you want to know?
Y'all went to high school. Did you go to college?
Yeah. So first, let's get to how we met.
Okay.
So we got a friend named Danny, and she had a case of beer, right? She was like, "You want it?" And this is when I was just like doing whatever. I was chilling.
Okay.
So I pulled up to get the beer, and Anaya was in the front seat. So I text Danny like,
Who's that?
Who's that? Exactly. And she was like, this is my friend. I got her Snapchat. And that was it.
Okay.
So then after that, we started talking more. And then she's really smart. And I was like, you should like tutor my little cousins. So I got her tutoring. And then that kind of led into us studying for the ACT together because we wanted to go to a big college.
Nice.
So we started spending like every day together.
Okay.
And then that just turned into like, we just gonna make it happen together.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you guys end up going to college?
Yeah.
I went to a private university, full ride, in Missouri, but then after first semester, I decided to drop out. And then he also went to college in Missouri, and then first semester decided to drop out.
What made y'all, what'd you go to school for? What'd y'all start off trying to do?
I was going for business.
Okay.
I always wanted to be a businessman, but I realized that college just wasn't going to give me, like, I'm trying to be like a Jay-Z type, and college just wasn't going to get that for me. So.
Got you.
Yeah, I was a marketing major, and I was minoring in studio art. So I love art. That's one thing about me. So,
I got you. Yeah, you look like an artsy.
Thank you.
I could definitely see that. Okay, so y'all dropped out in y'all first semester?
Yeah.
Y'all didn't even really give it a try. What'd y'all parents say?
I didn't really tell my parents until they were like
Yeah.
my mom was loose on me because I just always did what I had to do. So she
Yeah.
was loose until, the question was like, how's school going? I was like, it's cool. And then
Oh, so she didn't know?
Nah,
yeah, his whole
didn't
family
even.
kept saying, like, how's school going for you guys? And, like, we're just, like, sitting there, like,
I'm like, it's cool. I'm just trying to make it happen. So I was just letting it go until eventually I was like, guys, I'm not even in school.
Right. Oh, wow.
And then my family, like my parents, neither of them really got like a bachelor's degree or anything like that. And so all of us were like first generation students, but then my older brother, he dropped out. And then my older sister, she was like still in the process of going to school. And then my other brother dropped out. And so when I told my mom that, I was like, I just don't think that, she like really wanted me to because I was always good in school, but then I was just like, I feel like other things are more important right now, and she was like, as long as you make the right decisions. So she was okay. She was like, I could tell she was disappointed, but she was trying to be supportive
of your decision.
Yeah.
The way I saw it was, so I'm the youngest of three, and my older brothers didn't go to school or nothing like that, so I felt like no one in my family has already did anything like over the edge, so if I happen to fail at what I'm doing, then I wouldn't be like a new one. I would just be, you know what I mean? Like everyone else got their chance to.
I just did failure with everyone else.
Like everyone else got their chance to do what they want to do, but
Right.
I'm going to do what I want to do, but I'm just make it work, and I'm not going to stop until it works. So.
Gotcha. I love it. So y'all dropped out of college, and what made you drop out of college?
I went to.
Like when do you remember the day when y'all made the decision? Like
Yeah. I went to
what was that for you?
I went to Nehemiah's mastermind when I was 18.
Okay.
It was my first time seeing like a black man with money. Like he got his mom around.
So who's Nehemiah? Talk to us about who Nehemiah is. We know who Neo is.
Yeah. So,
we know and love Neo. We're in a mastermind together.
Yeah. So Neo's my mentor. He does digital marketing. Pretty much teaches you how to make an extra 6 figures a year from digital products. So at 18, I went to his mastermind. On Instagram, he posted, I got one, that thing, like I got like one seat left. And I was like, I'm going. And then Anaya, I was like, you want to go? And this was like the night before. We literally got there in the day.
Yeah.
So I went there, and my mindset
And where was
changed.
that?
That was in Miami.
Okay. Oh, okay, I went to Miami too. You joined in Miami?
No.
Oh, okay.
We just
But you
joined,
went.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I went.
That's when you first got introduced to him. You was 18.
Mm-hmm. And then, I learned some things, and then I realized that, like, okay, if he's making all this money doing this has nothing to do with a college degree. Like, I can do the same thing. But when I went, I wasn't in AirBNB. I didn't even have a business. So I kind of just went for the exposure. And then as I mastered something, I was like, okay, I got the game on how to make money from it. Now let's do it.
So you left your college to go to this event in Miami.
No. I was in college, but after I realized that I didn't need college to, like, because if he's got like a Rolls Royce Lambo, retired his mom, got his kids with him at his event on like a weekend, then I should probably follow what he's doing. You know what I mean? So I kind of just picked him to be my professor.
Your mentor.
You know what I mean?
Right. So did you have to pay to go to that event?
Yeah.
How much was it?
I think I paid like $5,000 for the ticket. But Anaya she just came to Miami with me. She stayed at the hotel. She didn't even come to the actual like event.
Wow. So you was 18 and paid where'd you get $5,000 from at 18?
I was hustling.
Okay. You ain't gotta say no more.
Yeah, I didn't have $5,000 at the time, so I definitely couldn't go. But I dropped out before that, like 2 months prior. I dropped out in December of like freshman year. I did first semester and then I dropped out. But for me, so I used to work, I started working when I was 15. I've kind of done entrepreneurship since I was really, really young. Like even when I was a kid, like me and my siblings, we would go to like the liquidation center and buy a whole bunch of like gum and candy, and we would buy lemonade and then sell outside my dad's barbershop. So we've been like entrepreneurs since we were younger. But then as I got older, like I started working really young at like 15. And then I moved out at the age of 16 and was supporting myself. So for me, it was like a little bit harder. And then I was working all these different jobs. Like I did retail, I was a server. I hated them all. Like I hated it. And I would just sit there and look at all these people around me of like all different ages, like people my age, like adults. And I was just wondering like, I wonder if they enjoy this because I hate it. So then I was like, I gotta find something else to do. So when I was 16, I decided to become a professional nanny. And so I kind of worked my way up from there from like 16 to 18. But when I was 18 and I was in college, or was I 19 yet? No, I was 18. And I was in college first semester, I actually had a job interview with Jim McKelvey, who's like the CEO of like Square and Cash App. And I was gonna nanny for his family, and he was like a really high profile, he's like a billionaire. So for me, that was crazy that I, even like at that age, had that opportunity. And he was like, we're gonna be traveling a lot, like you should expect to be, you know, traveling every other week. And he's like, I hope school doesn't get in the way of that. And I was just like, I'd rather learn from a billionaire who like has the life I want than spend the time in school, and I don't want school to get in the way.
Yeah, I was telling them, like, even being around them and seeing how they like operate, just so beneficial. Like, don't let school like.
And I've always like done work and school. Like I worked like 2 full-time jobs, and I was in college full-time, honor roll. Like school was easy, but I just didn't want it to end up getting in the way of like a big opportunity. And I just, and my mindset was changing at the time. Bryson had gave me like this big book list, and I was like listening to these mindset tapes and reading all these books.
Yeah, what kind of books?
Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big, Psycho-Cybernetics, Laws of Success. I got a whole book list that I give to everyone who like says they want success.
Yeah.
But she was like the first one to actually dig into it.
Right.
And I think that's why we like came together so close. I was like, you gonna listen to me, so we can really like make something happen. So.
Gotcha. I love that. So you kind of found your first mentorships in the books, right? That's what changed your mind. Well, I mean, it sounded like you were already on the path to entrepreneurship anyway. You know, your dad, you said, had a barbershop, so that's entrepreneurial. And what about what about your parents? What did your parents do?
Well, my parents were in and out of prison growing up, so but they were hustlers though. So like it's a form of entrepreneurship. So like they never had like a 9 to 5. Like it was also like we weren't rich, but we also weren't poor because they had quick cash coming in.
Yeah.
So I saw it like, you know, get money.
Right. So money was never lacking.
Yeah, I just chose to be the one to do it.
No, that's exactly how I grew up in the projects of Trenton, New Jersey, and you know, my parents worked, but you know, they hustled.
Yeah.
You know, some, you know, legal, everybody, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, money was never lacking. Let's just say that. And then, of course, when I grew up in my day, you know, I'm about 20 years older than you guys. No, I'm not that much older than you. I'm not that much older than y'all, but I was born in the 80s. So, like, in the 90s, so when I was growing up, you know, like the neighborhoods, we lived in, I lived in the projects. So there was just always a bunch of kids around, always a bunch of people. And then, you know, like my dad's friends were like my uncles, my mom's friends were my aunts. And like the saying, it takes a village was like real back then because like the village, like you could see the village. These days, I feel like, you know, we don't live like that. Like there's not really a village that I feel like is helping me with my family. But, you know, back then, like if somebody see you doing something you ain't supposed to do, they gonna slap you because they know your mom and they want you to go tell your mom because I'm gonna tell your mom if you don't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But very, you know, very kind of similar upbringing, right? And that's really the whole point of this podcast is to, you know, let people know that it don't matter where you come from. You can really make the decisions to pull yourself out of that situation and live life on your own terms. So I love that, you know, number one, your families allowed you guys the freedom to be able to make those choices. Yeah. Especially when it came to college, because that was my parents were like, you know, go to school, get a good job, and you know, and that was it. Even though I saw them hustling and making money, I just feel like I would have been a millionaire but for my 30s had they pushed me more into entrepreneurship. Yeah. They were pushing me to go to college and get a job, and I did that. But I sat at a job for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
It's a long time.
It's a long time. It was like 12 years, but you know, it's a long time. You know, I love but these days, back in my day, there weren't mentors. Like there were no neos around. You know what I'm saying? Like 15 years ago, this coaching space, the internet, the access and stuff. You know, my mentors, the options I had for mentors were books. Like you said, you were reading books. Or older white people, you know, and they looked at me. I'm a young girl, Shaniqua from Trenton, New Jersey, from the projects, right? They're looking at me like I'm a charity case. Yeah. And, you know, I always knew that, you know, there was more, right? There's more. I want more. There's going to be more. So I love that you guys have, you know, y'all had that mindset from the beginning. So you met Nehemiah. And he became your mentor, no, not officially then, but you were still kind of learning from him? Yeah,
I was just watching everything he did and like studying all his structures, like all of that.
And so what was your first business that you launched?
AirBNB.
Gotcha. So AirBNB was the first thing. So talk to us. Tell us about Airbnb. Tell us about your Airbnb business.
Well, we've been doing Airbnb for a little over a year. We started in May of 2021, and now we've scaled up to 11 units. Ourself, he co-hosts some for his stepdad. And yeah, this year so far, we're at September now, but we've generated like $360,000 from our 11 properties.
Wow.
So far this year. So hopefully we'll see what the number gets to by the end of the year.
Right. What's the projections? Y'all got projections? At least 500.
Yeah, at least 500.
At least 500. Just from Airbnb?
Just from Airbnb.
Wow. So how?
Like,
is there anything that you got, like, is that normal for Airbnb? Like, if I just have 11 Airbnb, so just walk me through the math, right? So so you have 11 units. On average, how much does one unit do per month?
You got it.
It really just depends on the size and the location. Like, we have units from 1-1s, like 1 bed, 1 baths, all the way up to 4 bed, 2 baths. And then we have apartments, we have houses, we have all different types. Some of ours bring in like up to $6,000 a month profit, while others bring in like $1,000 or $2,000 profit. Because those are like the smaller units that tend to get more like the corporate stays, the longer tenants. And then the ones where it's like very high occupancy, but people are coming in and out, and it's like a lot of turnover, big spaces that cost a lot. Those are bringing in, those are bringing in a pretty good amount, like up to $6,000 a month in profit off one unit. So
wow.
With 11 of them, they kind of range. Like, we have a few on the bigger side, and then, it's kind of like a half and half split. And so it really just depends on like the sizing, I think, and also location. But all of ours are in St. Louis, Missouri.
Gotcha. Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Dang, the market is that big in St. Louis? I've never been. I've never been to St. Louis.
Yeah, so we have the Cardinals, and then we have the Blues, and
there's like a lot of convention centers and things people come for. Like, I was surprised because I don't like St. Louis, and I was like, no one's gonna want to come here. Like, who travels here? Who intentionally comes here for things?
Right.
And Bryson's like, you'd be surprised. Like, there's more demand than you think, and people really like come into town and travel for the Cardinals games and for the Blues. Like, I didn't know that the Cardinals were that big. You know, I always lived there, and the Cardinals were always our team, but I didn't know that there was so much demand for it.
So, are you guys looking to expand? Like, what's next for you in the Airbnb space?
I think that moving forward, so the goal has always been to own real estate, but since we're young and didn't have a lot of capital to start, we started off by using other people's properties, which is called rental arbitrage. So now that we've got a nice portfolio going and cash rolling in, we're going to transition to owning properties and doing something more unique.
Yeah. So what is, I guess, talk to us about your acquisition, right? You are very young. How did you guys, like, Airbnb is a whole full business. So were you doing this stuff in your names? Did you get your businesses? Like, talk to us about the process of, like, you know, having a $500,000 business at, 19 years old. Like, where are you guys at business-wise? Because it sounds like you just started. Yeah. Were you doing everything in your names? Do you have businesses, LLCs, that kind of thing?
We started off doing it in our name, and then very quickly we realized, okay, we need to like get an LLC and make it very professional. And so I think that's even helped us scale so young, is because we came at it as like we're a professional company. And like a lot of the time they definitely would look at us like, you guys look a little young, but we like apply with a corporate lease. So we're not applying under our personal names, we're applying under our business name and getting the units under our business.
Gotcha.
So it kind of helps. They don't even always ask our age, but obviously like if we put our names on there and stuff and they like run a background check or something, they'll see that we're pretty young. But yeah, we started right when we turned 19.
Wow.
I think he was still 18. Just about to turn 19, and I had just turned 19.
And so your first, let's talk about your first one. So your first Airbnb, what was that? What did that look like for you? This week's episode is sponsored by ABCs for Rich Kids by 7-year-old author and entrepreneur Bryce Nicholas. Please tell us where we can find your book.
abcsforrichkids.com.
Awesome. This book is so amazing, guys. It literally goes from A to Z with different financial terms for your little loved ones. Awesome. So we've got F is for future value, E is for evaluation, H is for air. Guys, if you do not have this book, the Amazon #1 bestseller, please go and grab it now at abcsforrichkids.com.
2 bed, 2 bath, downtown St. Louis, like 8 to 10K total startup cost, but that same unit has made us over $50,000.
More than that.
So it costs you on average $8,000 to $10,000 to start up a unit?
It depends on the size and location.
Okay.
Yeah.
We tell people like 8 to 15K, and that may be too much, but it's good to be prepared to spend more than to spend less.
Because even some locations, if you're putting into like, you have to pay deposit or first month's rent when you're doing rental arbitrage anyway, like some places, like they have higher rents and they're just more expensive. So even factoring that in, that's why it kind of ranges like that. And like sizing of the units,
But the thing about rental arbitrage is it isn't cash heavy up front when you compare it to like buying an investment property. So,
right.
You know, you got to put 20% down closing costs, but with rental arbitrage, you literally just go get an apartment, first, last, security, furnish, make money.
Yeah, all you need is like the landlord's approval and making sure that like your city allows it. And as long as the landlords you guys make sure that your communication is open, honest, and they're like, you're good to go, then it's pretty smooth.
Gotcha. So what are you guys looking for in units?
We're looking for the nicest of the nicest. So we tell people, like, when you're looking on Zillow for properties, you have to keep the mindset that you're not looking at this property for you to stay in. It's for you to accommodate people. So when people travel, they're normally traveling to something better. They're trying to escape like their normal life. So they want updated stuff, like nice lighting, nice activities and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, and really it's like a numbers game. So it's not even as much like personal preference, what we like in a space. If we put the numbers in AirDNA and they look good, then it's projected, and like the research shows that it's projected to make a lot of income, then we're going to go for it. We're going to try to get that property.
Because we've come past properties that we really like, but they don't perform well. So we had to say no.
Yeah.
How do you find out if they perform well or not?
AirDNA.co. It's like a
research
a research tool,
Gotcha.
and we put the address in, put in the bed and bath count, how many guests you want to sleep, and it'll give us like 3 projections, like annual revenue, average daily rate, and occupancy rate. And then we kind of just run our calculations. We take the expected monthly rental revenue from the monthly expenses, and then that's how we get like our profit.
Gotcha. So with Airbnb, do you guys have any other, so I know a lot of people typically get into the space and then now they start a cleaning business and all the things. How do you guys manage, what's like the management of all of these units that you guys have in place now? Do you have a system? Do you have like a cleaning company? What's your system that you guys are using to manage the units?
So we use 3 key software. So one is going to be Hospitable. This is a PMS, a property management software. This automates our messages so we don't have to sit there and text everyone back. This automatically schedules our cleaners so we don't have to call and text them like, hey, can you clean? And this automates the review process so every time someone checks out, it automatically sends them a review.
I love it.
And then next we use Price Labs, which automates the pricing. Because the way I see it is humans, we are not smarter than software. So we pay them $20 a month and they pretty much price our units like perfect compared to everyone else. And and then next we use, what else? We use Noise Aware. This device tracks noise. So a lot of people book Airbnbs for parties, right? But if you're a corporate client, you don't want that. So you put a Noise Aware in there, and every time your guest gets too loud, it'll send you an alert, and then you can text them and tell them, hey, you guys need to quiet down.
Yeah, so it just picks up on noise levels. But we also have like smart locks. We automate mostly everything. So me and him just manage ourselves because the time that we spend, even for like those 11 units, honestly, it's maybe like an hour of work per week.
It's a breeze.
Yeah. It's not that much.
Sounds beautiful. It's a breeze.
It's pretty smooth. But now we're looking to start a management company.
Okay.
And then also hopefully, like Bryson said, we'll start owning so that we are actually like creating those solid assets and then maybe do like Airbnb out of those.
Yeah. Awesome. So y'all haven't even been, has it been a full year?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a little over a year now. But even in just in 8 months, y'all made a little over almost $400,000.
Yeah.
In Airbnb. Do you guys do any investing? What are you guys doing to, like, what if Airbnb goes away tomorrow? What are you doing to secure income for yourself?
So since Airbnb is just a platform, the actual vacation and like corporate that won't change.
Hospitality space.
Yeah, hospitality.
Yeah.
So that won't change.
So
but
at the end of the day, you're in the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we could like list on a different platform, or we even have a private booking website of our own.
Oh, okay.
We don't really market it or run ads on it, but we definitely could. Let's say Airbnb were to disappear tomorrow.
Right. So like, are you getting your guest information? I know that's like one
we
thing.
got all phone numbers, all emails.
Gotcha.
We have all
Perfect.
of that.
So what do you like make them give it to you to get the internet or something? How are you getting their information?
Well, Airbnb collects it for you.
And they give it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they would
And you
keep
can
that.
use MailChimp. It's a so Hospitable has this app called MailChimp, and every time it gets books, it's going to pull all of their data for you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But we've never used it because we don't really like retarget them after they leave, but
Yeah.
it's at our disposal if we wanted to.
Gotcha. Awesome. Yeah, because for some reason I thought that Airbnb wouldn't give you that. For some reason I thought they didn't give you people's personal information like that.
Well, if they have a problem, they got to call you.
Yeah.
And then if you
Yeah.
have a problem, you got to call them.
We get
Gotcha.
their information, even through Hospitable, like every time it'll show us like our client's name, their phone number, and
Where
things
they're
like
from.
that. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
we're able to access that information. But like Bryson said, we don't really use it.
Yeah, but if you needed to market to them later, then you could.
Yeah.
Yep.
Offer them come back next year and save 20%.
Yeah. Yeah. Some
Got
people
it.
book really far out. Like some people will stay with us and then they leave in like in a week or two. They'll book for
year
like
out.
for like the whole next year and a half. And I'm like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. You have some planning. Yeah.
Right. So that means y'all have to have y'all lease for next year. Y'all got to make sure y'all keep that
Yeah.
unit.
Yeah, or move and then let them know like we change locations if you're still interested.
Gotcha. So what have been some of your biggest mistakes that y'all have made in business so far?
First, so we didn't have an Airbnb mentor when we first started, so we pretty much figured it all out on our own. So
Basically trial and error. Like
the
learning on our own.
the first month we made $4,500 profit, right?
4,500?
Yep, profit.
That's good.
It was amazing, right? And then the very next month we only made $2,000 revenue.
So that was like 1,000 profit total.
Gotcha.
So what happened was we realized that we didn't have any systems in place. So we had to go back, like literally dive back into the books and stuff and like figure out how are people making so much money with this business, because does the market really change that quick to where you can go from profiting almost $5,000 to barely making any money? So that was the first mistake, not automating everything we can and actually focus on like building a business and not being in the business.
Gotcha. So you got you a mentor?
No.
No?
We just
But
figured it out.
now
Oh,
we do
okay.
coaching. So now we coach other people
Okay.
on getting started with Airbnb.
Gotcha. Yeah. So what, I guess if somebody wanted to start an Airbnb business today, where do they start?
First, you come to our free training. No, seriously, it's every Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. The link is
Shameless plug.
freebnbworkshop.com, and we give like the first 5 steps, and like we don't hold back on our free masterclass. Like it's actually detailed exactly what you need to do. We give you our exact pitch. We give you all the software you need, how to find the profitable location. We literally give it all, and that's literally how you get started.
Yeah.
Because you can go on YouTube and like dig through 10, 20 hours of education, or you can come
It just
to our
takes
class.
so long.
Like,
yeah.
Man.
When you have real experience, listen, YouTube University cannot replace your, $400,000 worth of experience, right?
Exactly.
And then that's the money that you've made, but there's also money that you spent,
Right,
and
yeah.
things where you've messed up. That's why I said, like, what have been some of your biggest hiccups or failures so far? Because that's what people are going to run into, right? Like,
Yeah.
were there any roadblocks that you guys came and had to fight against? When you were trying to grow from like 1 to 5, and now you guys are at 11.
It was that professionalism. It didn't really take off until we got our private booking website, which is like a company website. And
That's
then we
like your
got that.
online pitch when you reach out to a landlord. Like when you say when you send like your pitch and then you include your website at the bottom, and then they can go click it and see, oh, this is what you actually do. This is what your business offers. It makes them it builds that trust, and they're more inclined to work with you.
Because
sure.
at first it's like you're begging to work with them, and then next it's like, oh, we want to work with you.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I
we're
mean?
offering you a service by making it easier for you. Because even if you think about it, if we work with a landlord, it's easier for them to work with us as opposed to a normal long-term tenant. Because we always tell them, we provide cleaners come every time there's a checkout. Like we have to keep your property in tip-top shape.
Right.
Whereas most long-term tenants, they live there, as their lease goes on, it becomes a wreck, and then by the time they move out, it looks pretty bad.
Right.
But even like we have cleaners come in after every single checkout. We monitor the property. We make sure it looks nice. We have our own little maintenance team for small things.
Everything has to work. So we don't, most long-term tenants, they'll leave something broke for so long. And then when they finally move out, the landlord is left with that issue. With us, that's not a problem.
Right.
Because we have to keep it up to standard.
We can't have holes in the wall and hosting guests. You know what I mean?
Right. So that's the value you bring to a landlord.
Yeah.
Got it.
But even some of our biggest, like, I would say, like, the hardest things is finding, like, a solid team, because we don't live in St. Louis. We live in Las Vegas. So we do all of it remotely. We have 11 of our own.
Y'all left that part all the way out. Like, that's huge.
Yeah, so we
so
live
y'all
in Vegas.
live in Vegas, and you have 11 Airbnbs in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How does that work?
So that's the cool part. Like, you can do it all from your phone. It's all remote. You don't have to be there. But that's why you need a solid local team. And that's just really like having a good cleaning team. Because everything else, like we have automated, self-check-in, automated messaging, like everything. And then communication with guests can all be done through a phone. Even when we set up our units, we do like video tutorials, like walking through how to actually get into the unit, everything that they'll need. But it's like having a good, solid cleaning team to make sure that they're doing their end and keeping the property up to standard. Whenever like things are broken or damaged, the cleaners take a picture and send it to us so we can submit like an air cover claim, which is just like Airbnb's like insurance. And yeah, really it's having a solid team, because we've had cleaners where they just didn't show up or they quit the same day. And it's like, for a business like that, that's like really, really, really hard. So finding a dependable, solid team is everything, I would say.
Yeah. Awesome. Dang, I had another question. Yes, I do. So are you guys married?
Yeah.
When did you decide to get married?
May of 2021.
You got married May of 2021.
Yeah.
So you're married, business partners. Do you guys think that has helped in your business, in your relationship, in your life? You're super young. If I had a younger brother or sister that was 19 or 20 talking about marriage, I would be like, no.
Yeah.
So talk to us about how you guys, got to that point, and do you think that marriage is a little, like a low-key secret weapon to success?
I think for men it is.
For men?
For clarity. It's there are so many women out here, and if your energy is focused on trying to get one of the million, which most of them won't like you, you're just going to be wasting tons of energy. So if you got one that likes you with all of your flaws and, then you should probably keep it and then focus on that instead of chasing 1,000 women a day. You know what I mean? So I think it just all of that energy you put into your business, into other aspects of life, and you kind of just chill.
Right.
Because most men spend a lot of time looking for love or lust, and years go by. You got all these bodies, but you don't have any money because you haven't put time into getting it out. So now you're broke, and then you finally get a wife, and you don't have anything to support her because you haven't been building anything. And I mean, seriously. So
no, seriously, yeah.
It's definitely a cheat code.
Men, I think for so long, men, first of all, they spend a lot of money chasing women, right?
Yeah.
So you spend a lot of money,
time.
you spend a lot of time, and like you said, that's wasted time, wasted energy, wasted money that you can't get back.
Yeah.
So you might look back, 5-10 years and realize, yeah, I had a lot of fun,
but I ain't got nothing.
Ain't got nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where you guys are in 5 to 10 years. What would you say? Like, do you guys have plans? Like, you got 5-10-year plans?
Honestly, I plan to just impact the most people as possible and make the most money as possible. Like, seriously, that's it.
What's your plan for the next year? Are y'all looking to grow your Airbnb business? Like, how many units you got? Like, what would be comfortable for that business before y'all decide to move on to the next thing?
I would say in the next year, scaling our Airbnbs, yes, but more so owning. And like, we're good on like the traditional arbitrage. Like, we've had really good success with it. But now, since we're bringing in good income, I kind of want to do something more that I like enjoy. So like doing like the cool Airbnbs, like the tents or the tree houses, or like owning in terms of Airbnb, and then also just scaling our coaching. Like, we're both going to offer like individual mentorships, and then we offer coaching together. So hopefully hitting our millions in the next year and scaling our coaching up. And then like owning our Airbnbs and doing like the cool Airbnbs, the different
right, like the what do they call them, like
the experiences,
yes,
you know, like instead of just like a
experience.
traditional like home apartment, which those definitely they've shown and proven like really great. But now that I've done that and I've been bringing in good income from it, I want to take that income and put it into something more like creative and fun, you know.
Gotcha. Yeah, you got to get your creative side.
So one way or
She
another,
ain't gonna
you
be
know?
happy unless you let her get her creative side.
But even for our units, she's the interior designer.
Right.
I give her complete control, like, just make it look nice. Like, do your
Right.
thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So it sounds like y'all are a great team.
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice. So if someone is starting their, or wants to start their Airbnb business or get coaching from you guys, how do they get in touch?
So my Instagram is Bryson K Blocker.
And then my Instagram is my name, Anaya McMillan. But
And then we have
Anaya?
Inaya, INAYAH.
Okay.
Inaya.
And then we have a shared Instagram page where we drop all of the Airbnb game, the Airbnb breakdown.
Yeah.
The Airbnb breakdown on Instagram.
It's just at Airbnb
Do you guys
breakdown.
do done for you?
With our individual mentorships that we're offering now, it's going to be like a done for you / with you. So some of the aspects will be done for them, like creating their private booking website, market research in their city, like things like that. And then we have an academy right now that we offer, just because like even at first everyone like just kept saying like they wanted like more and like coaching. So at first we were like, we're doing a free class, and so now then we started offering our academy. That way they can get that more for those people who wanted more, but then there's still people who want more than just like, the academy is a do-it-yourself. Like we have classes Monday through Friday, we have a community, we have the support of mentors, and we offer our course and everything, but it's still like they have to take the material and go and implement it. Mm-hmm. Whereas some people, they still want more, so now that's why we're offering our mentorships where it's done for you, with you, like
Hybrid. Yeah. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, I was just telling Ashawn earlier, I'm trying to learn stocks. I mean, I've been in the financial industry my whole life, but, these Zooms and stuff don't work for me. Like, you're going to have to pull up.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to pull this computer out, like, I am not an online learner. Like, I need to go into class and learn and ask my questions and stuff.
And a lot of people are like that. Everyone has like totally different learning styles.
Let me tell you something. There's so much ADD and so many distractions. We're used to operating in distraction, right? So we have cell phones. You've got all these alerts on your phones. You've got the television. So it's hard. It's hard to focus. So people need what you guys are doing. Again, I love what you guys are doing. Y'all inspire me. I don't know if I want to do Airbnb. Do you think that everybody should, hop in the Airbnb space? If you were, let me ask y'all this: are you mentoring people your age, older? What's your average mentors look like?
So I got one student named Dylan. He's 19. He has business credit and he has Airbnbs. So that's like one case, and then we have a few people our age, and then we have people older.
Yeah,
we got like a wide range.
There's really no specific demographic for it.
So do you think anybody can do Airbnb?
Anybody can do Airbnb.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah, and should we do it?
Yeah.
You should.
No, seriously, it's a pretty great business model, especially once you automate your systems.
Automated. That's what I would like. I don't want to do no work.
It's really, there's not like, so the initial like getting your unit and setting up, and even that, like if you have more money than time, you can just pay someone to do that.
Yeah, that's why I asked if y'all do done for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's always just.
And even but it's once that's all done and you actually have your listing set up and all of your automations are running,
you good.
It's really like we have 11 plus some that we're helping his family with, and it's still like not even an hour of work per week, like genuinely. There's not like just. Sometimes we have to talk to our cleaners here and there, housekeeping. If guests ask a question that's not in our automated responses, like if it's not a normal question or something they specifically need help with, those are the questions we address. But we even have like automated check-in messages, like checking in on them, like, hey, just checking in, hope you're enjoying your stay. Anytime, like if they ask any question that has like a key word, our automated software sends back a response. So if they ask about early check-in in any form, we send them back. We do offer early check-ins for a $50 fee. Like, it's smooth. It's nice. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. So before we go, is there any advice that you have out there, first of all, for young people, Because, like I said, traditionally, we're taught, go to school, get a job. You guys are killing the game, living life on your own terms. So is there any advice that you have for young people that are, kind of trying to figure it out? And then secondly, make sure that y'all drop the website again so we can come to the free weekly.
Okay. You can go first with the advice. I've done it.
My biggest advice is literally get around people who think like you. So I say that bad company is worse than having no company. So like, if you got to be alone for a few months to figure it out, that's fine. But don't be trying to figure it out with the wrong people, because it'll never work. And save your money until you learn what to do with it, but don't just blow it. Like, even shoes, you can have all the shoes and not be satisfied. The new pair of Jordans aren't going to satisfy you more than the last ones. Maybe it'll be hype for a day, but like 10 years down the line, when you add up that price, you could have realized you could have actually been a homeowner. You could have just did some real stuff with it. So keep your money, get around the right people.
Yeah, same thing kind of. But mindset is really, really, really important. I would say mindset's key. Building up your mindset that way, not only you believe in yourself, but you know it's possible. And like Bryson said, surrounding yourself with the right people who uplift you, people who are striving for the same goals, because if not, it kind of becomes a distraction. And just working hard. There's a lot of times where it doesn't work. I can tell you from personal experience, I tried so many things. I tried e-commerce dropshipping. I tried trading stock options, which they were like going well, but they weren't taking off.
And they weren't like Airbnb.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of things. Like, there were times where I was just like, why is this so hard? Like, why? Like, genuinely. And it's not going to work a lot of the time, but you just have to keep trying. Even my sister said to me, because we were doing drop shipping together, and she was like, it didn't work. And I was like, it didn't not work, we gave up. And that's the difference. So it only doesn't work if you give up. And if I had stayed at drop shipping and kept trying, or stayed at, practicing trading stock options, I probably would have, been really successful by now, or maybe, hopefully. But Airbnb had started taking off. That's why I kind of put my focus into that. But basically, it only doesn't work if you give up, and mindset is key. Yeah.
Good company or no company, that's it.
I love it. Awesome. Now, please, for last time, let us know where we can follow you and how we can tap into your weekly mentorship calls.
All right, so you can follow me on Instagram at Bryson K Blocker.
And then you can follow me at Anaya McMillan. I'll spell it out just because my name's a little hard. INAYAHMCMILLAN. And then our shared page is at Airbnb Breakdown, which is AIRBNB. And then the B for Airbnb goes into Breakdown. And then our link for our free class is in all three of our bios, but that specific website is www.freebnbworkshop.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining this week's episode. It was such a pleasure interviewing you guys. If you are trying to figure out where you're going with life, you're trying to decide what's happening in this next phase of your life, be encouraged by these two young people who are out here literally killing life. If I was y'all age, first of all, y'all gonna be millionaires next year, so I'm super excited for you guys. But you can literally have the life that you want. Look at these two; they're doing life on their own terms. So I'm super blessed to have you guys here. Can't wait to bring y'all back on year 3, year 5. But make sure you guys tap into the next episode. I'm Shaniqua Nicole, your host. This week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly. You can head to www.blackwealthweekly.com. Make sure you hit the bell and subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Black Wealth Weekly. I'm your host, Shaniqua Nicole, and I hope to see you next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on them notifications, and head to blackwealthweekly.com, where you can read all the new episodes of These Entrepreneurs and so many others.